So hello and welcome once again to my layout New Junction. Today we take a step down a level because we're working on the heritage line. So it's time to fire it up and bring out a buck jumper. Now, I've been to my local, Tony's Trains, and of course I was relieved of some money, and I had some more bullhead point work. I bought one or two, but it's not just going to be as straightforward as laying the point work, which is a shame, which I will show you what I'm going to do down that end. So welcome to this top-down view. Hopefully you can see the track. The camera is so tall above me I can't actually see the screen, so I've just pointed it in the rough direction. This is a bullhead medium right-hand point, and I want it to go roughly here on the approach to the sort of station area. Now, if I lay it on top, you can probably tell that the point is a tighter curve than the actual line it's going to go on. Hopefully there's an easy fix to that, because what I'll do is I'll turn it over and on this very expensive point, I will cut the webbing like I've done with my sleeper spacing on the main line, and I will hopefully ease the angle of the point ever so slightly. Now I do expect the rails obviously don't get any bigger, so as the angle stretches out, I'll probably have to cut back certain rails to make it refit again and pin it and glue it in place properly, but that's the first job. And all being well, now I'm doing this via a camera stand. I'm just going to, with a Stanley, cut the webbing and hopefully give it a bit of movement. Now with me holding that there, hopefully you can roughly see it's just freed it up enough just to ever so slightly be able to bend in. So what I'll do now is I'll get the Dremel out and I'll cut the track it's on and hopefully fit this point. So once I've roughly gauged where the cuts are going to be, I do that. Obviously I've laid a lot of track these days, so I can pretty much wing it without measuring and without marking. It's not the most sensible thing in the world, but for the most part I tend to get away with it. Once I've cut through the rails on both sides, including the webbing underneath, as you could see, I needed to use the scalpel blade just to free off the piece and then pull out some track pins. I can place the point in position using the bullhead rail couplers. Now, I've not used insulating rail joins as yet because I want this piece of track to run at the end of the video so I can show you it working. If I did that today, I'm not going to be able to wire it up at the same time, so that is why I've done that, for anyone who's wondering. Now, the next task, once that's done, now as you can see, it's taken me far too long because bullhead rail joiners are tiny and very fiddly, but they soon go on. Now that's in place, I've put in a single track pin, and as you can see, roughly speaking, we have a ever so slightly widened curve Now there's still lots to fettle, my favourite word, but I think it's looking okay. So now coming to track level a bit better, so you can hopefully see, you can see there's still plenty of play in the track, and it just needs ever so slight fettling before the time comes to ballast. So not to worry if it's not 100% perfect, just like the real railway, but very happy with that. So much so I can proceed now and start laying this line, which should, touch wood, be much simpler. So first things first, I'm going to prepare some cork strips. Now, get the most out of the cork, putting this piece of 2x4 timber down. I'm just going straight along it and creating myself some roughly straight bits. It doesn't matter if it's perfect, it's going to be all ballasted over anyway. Just create myself one or two. So as ever when laying track, a few useful tips. Don't forget to leave a gap depending on the weather currently. So in summer, the warmer months, the rail will be expanded with the heat, but then in winter it'll be retracted. So you want to leave a bigger gap in winter. Now we're still only talking a sort of mil space in winter, but yeah, you've got to leave a bit. Now I always like to leave a bit more for bullhead track because I find it expands the most, more so than the same rail but on the modern image stuff. So well worth just watching out for that in the summer months. So I put cork underneath now very roughly just to keep it the same height as the rest of the railway. Now I don't use cork for sound deadening like people would suggest. I actually use it just to help with raise the track ever so slightly, just to give a bit more of a ballast shoulder when it comes to ballasting. And as you can see, nice and easy. Now I'm using the piece of 2x4 again, just to roughly help me guide the track straight, because it comes via the point at a slight curve, and then it needs to be straight because the laser kit will also be straight for the platform, and then I'll put in track pins just enough to hold it in place and hold it down, because as you can see the cork is quite misshapen and springy. And then yeah, I try and leave the sweeping curves without track pins where possible, and that just helps them flow nicely. Right, so now you can see the end of the piece of track I've just laid, and then the point it needs to go into. Unfortunately, the point is, well, being an express point, it just comes across where I wanted the road. However, that's not such a problem. We'll just move it over a centimetre or such. You can just sort of see the line that was penciled in roughly, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to have to do that annoying thing where I have to cut into a piece of track, because for the life of me I can't find a scrap piece which I can place here, and then all being well, we'll be able to have passing trains. Okay, forget that. You literally just saw me 30 seconds ago take that out of the line at the other end. There's my scrap piece of track, and look, it fits. Blimey, I just need to get on. And there we are, as you can see, a nice passing loop, which will hold a train, well, the size you'd expect at a heritage line. So I'm very happy with that. Again, I've tried to cut down the tracks. There's not too many sidings. I've taken away up near the left-hand side of your screens. I've taken away the two lines because there's a triple line thing going on up there, and I've left a head shunt for now on this line. But other than that, I've stripped it right back, so it's very much single track going over the crossing area. Now, this, of course, what I'll do now is once I'm happy with roughly where this is and it performs well, I will trace the station platform shape, and I will send that to Phil Morton of PGM Models, who will then cut me a station platform out. Now, the reason I have him do it rather than do it on my little laser is I can do things yay big, so unless I want 10 pieces, it's best to let Phil do it, and then I've got 2 pieces of station, which is perfect. Now, I do have something to be wary of for me, mental note. I have a baseboard joint right here, so that will be where the gap will be in the platform. So all this, as you can see, all that will be one piece platform, and then it'll just be the end there. And I'll have to find some way of covering that. So probably, I don't know, canopies or something. Anyway, I digress. So the next job, which you can probably hear just in the background, I've got 2 trains lined up just so they can pass, and all being well, we will see that in action and it'll work. But one thing I think you may have noticed, or may have not noticed so far, is I have changed the back walling. Now, this is the Metcalfe wall, the card wall off the original New Junction station, back when it was in the loft. Now, I've taken out the Larson walling and put in the brick fascia, mainly because I wanted to test it. I won't be keeping the cardboard because it's probably past its best now. It's been in a damp garage and a damp loft, but I think it serves its purpose. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be swapping to the brick walling, and I will probably be coming up with some form of variant which I can cut myself again, because they're small pieces. I mean, this is how the Metcalfe kit comes, but I could do something similar on the laser, make it a bit more customised to the layout here. And then, of course, it can join the bridge on that side and the new bridge that will come on this side. So, yeah, I think that's much better. Right, so time to test the trains, and then I've got some groundwork to do over that end. Blimey, well, one of the signallers wasn't paying attention. There's only one here, so oops. Let's try that again. Right, I'm on a wide angle camera now. So the next job I want to tackle is this bridge, this roadway. So it should be fairly simple. All I need to do is clear underneath here all this debris and then raise it up with some polystyrene, which I've got a handful of, hopefully just enough to make a tunnel. Let's crack on. Now, isn't that absolutely typical? Polystyrene's just too tall. I did have some that went together and it was the right height, but I think I'm gonna have to go and dig out my hot wire cutter. Right, so here we are back on the other side of the layout. Now, as you can see, the polystyrene is there, and the road markings where I roughly want it to be are in place. So what do I want here? I want to achieve a road which will basically go into the tunnel, which will be here somewhere. It doesn't have to be centered to what's currently here, because we'll make the scene a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the line of the road with the hot wire cutter, and then allowing the space there for the left-hand turn as we're looking at it up the side road. So yeah, I couldn't find a pencil, so I'm actually, while this hot wire cutter's heating up, I'm going to use this just to score where I want to take the polystyrene down from. Right, now for this next bit, I don't want you to laugh, because what I'm going to do, stand upon a chair, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the roadway. Not from up here, I'm not painting from a distance, but in a second I'm going to take a top-down photo of the area, and I'll show you what I can do using the laser, quick and easy, just to do an instant roadway. But the observant of you may have already got there before me. I need that camera to take this photo. I'm going to do that. Join me over there at the computer. So I've got my little portable setup on once more, and I just want to show you very quickly how this will benefit the layout. So the photo I took, which is this one on your screens now, I can use as a template to be able to align with sizes I've measured, to be able to cut a small piece of plywood, basically just to be the roadway on the layout. And that gives me a solid base to then paint and sand and whatnot, rather than adding plaster of Paris, things like that, which may crack over the various textures. So using these lovely, they look like a pizza box, Creality plywood boxes. As you can see, they come 300 by 300, so they're perfect for cutting out things like that. So I'll just lose that. Just like that, from a click of a button, we should have a cut-out roadway. And there we go. As you can see, very simple. Now, you could just do that with a scalpel blade, etc., but while I've got it, it makes a nice base, and being nice and solid gives me something nice to paint and I suppose take off the layout and sand back and all that, which I'll show you in another video. Now, I'm going to paint it up with this Rail Centre Ammo Asphalt Roads selection. You've got your things like blacks, whites, industrial grey, I think it's an aluminium yellow, and a medium ash grey in there. Now I'm going to paint it up temporarily today, just so we've got something nice and visual. What am I going for? It's aluminium. I want the grey, industrial grey. There we go. I'm just going to paint these up. I'm really enjoying these kits. Actually, I'm using them on the bridges and buildings I've got going on, and they're really quite nice. I'll put a link down below in the description. Not affiliated, but yeah, I quite like them. So let's get painting. So I think you'll agree, after just one coat already, it's looking quite convincing. Now, obviously, there's lots to do, lines and things and different colours to put on here to stop it looking like pieces of wood. But and then, of course, the crossing itself. But as you can see, we're going in the right direction. And I really like the, as I mentioned, the ammo paints. They go on particularly plywood and the bigger sheets of plywood very well. And you don't need 18 million coats or varnish or primer first. That said, looking quite convincing, and we've just started. I will work on creating a bridge top for here, and I've got something special lined up, and then I'll fill in all the pieces. Oh, and while we're here, the Bachmann TP350, as you can see, is going around the layout. If you'd like to see a under closer inspection of the TP350, do let me know down below in the comments. Right, as we're talking about a level crossing, I think it's time I showed you something else at the other end of the station. So as you can see, I have been buying up Will's kits. This is the problem when you go to a local model shop. Thank you, Tony's Trains. You get tempted to things you didn't know you needed. Now, this is the Will's Modern Image kit, and that is SM318. Now, in that, you get the kit for the double track. I've since also brought an extra base pack, which will go here and here. And that'll form the basis for the crossing and the bridge going that way. And I'll also fill in the gaps with plywood the same way I did the heritage line just over there. And I think you'll agree, it's slowly starting to come together. We're filling in the gaps now, which is needed as the scene comes this way. Okay. I can't help myself. I am doing a little bit to the station on the top here. Now, one of the benefits of going to so many shows recently with work is that, well, you get inevitably a chance to browse through all the stalls and things like that and see all the trinkets and goodies to tempt you away from your pocket money. Now, I did need a few things. Now, what I needed was more seats. So I've got some for the main platform. I need some for this side as well. So I've got those from West Hill Wagon Works, and I also found some Modern Image. Now these are done by West Hill Wagon Works for DCC Concepts, I believe. And what I have here are the modern station CCTV cameras and the passenger information screens, which I think will go right at home with these. Now I believe these can only be bought via DCC Concepts, but yeah, excellent for the Modern Image station. So I'm going to find a nice place for these and glue them on. And one of the other things that I purchased at the Great Electric Train Show was the Revolution Trains car carriers. Now this is the modern covered type. Very nice. I think they're quite striking, especially, dare I say, I've seen them with the red DB66. Now, as you'll know, the Accurascale Class 66s are due in any day now as I'm filming this, and I wanted something which goes well and something I'd seen. Now I've actually seen this train go past, I think it was Reading Depot, I might be wrong there, but Reading Depot, and they're really long trains, and well, they're just absolutely fantastic. And I thought I've got to start collecting a rake. Now they come in 5 packs, and yeah, do what they say on the tin. Nice enough freight, to be honest. And I'm looking forward to adding more to the collection as and when they come up. Of course, if you'd like to see a dedicated video to these, I don't normally do it on rolling stock, but if you'd like to see them just because it's something different, something new, do let me know down below in the comments. So, Blinky didn't miss it. As you can see here, we've got the West Hill Wagon Works new gantry signals. Now, these were launched at the Great Electric Train Show a couple of weeks ago as I'm filming this. And the best thing about them is not only are they sort of relatively cheap and cheerful, I think that is $19.99, I think, for one of those, and you can add things to it, different lights, different aspects of lights. This is actually, in the kit, it's actually for 2 lines, so you'd have the 2 aspect signals hanging off them, but to mirror the signal that's actually at Hadley Wood, it's not only is it 1 rather than the 2, it also comes the opposite way round. So this signal is designed to come over the left-hand side as you're looking at it, like this. Oh no, don't fall down. Blue tack. But it's also, so my signal has to come from the right-hand side of the line and hang over. But I have it on good authority from Chris at West Hill that these are higher than the coming soon West Hill Wagon Works East Coast Mainline catenary. Now, I've butchered this one to make it fit the way I want, so I've not actually put the magnet base in yet, which is why it's on blue tack and it's sagging. But no, I think this is very nice, particularly when the wires go in the knitting. Now, some of you may have noticed when I was cutting my roadway, the laser itself is actually quite grubby, and that's because on the back of the last layout update, where I did my depot plaque coasters, I had that many requests to do others, as well as the ones I was doing. I have been non-stop. Now, Adam at Rail Stuff, bless him, has been hauling these to shows, and they've been extremely popular. So what I've done is I've brought out another 9. So we've got things like Ripple Lane, Lara, Stewart's Lane, Bescott, things like that, Hither Green. We've got the Crew Diesel Cat and the Leicester Cat. So as you can tell, now we've got, I think there's 18 in total or something in the range, and we're still doing the offer, so you can have 4 for £20, just under. You can click on the link below, and this stuff directly helps keep the lights on here. So if you'd like a memento made by myself on the laser we've got, do click the link down below and help yourselves. There's only a finite amount of these now. I think we're down to, I think I've done 6 of each now, and that is it for the time being. I'm out of tiles, out of time to cut them, because as you'd imagine, I think 2 of them take something like 30 minutes, 40 minutes to cut, to engrave, I should say, and trying to cut so many takes a world of time. And it's stopping me cutting things for the layout. So that is it for now. So if you want one, don't hold back, do get one. And they are very nice. They come varnished and all sorts. So very nice bits of kit. Right, so on that note, I'm going to actually go make myself a cup of tea. So I'm going to say a big thank you for watching. It's been a small update because of all the shows. You will see myself with Rail Stuff at the Gaydon exhibition coming up on the Saturday only. If you're watching this as it goes live, if you're in the future, you missed me. But yes, and the final show for myself this year will be the NEC at the back end of November, which I'm looking forward to. So it'll be great to see you there, and hopefully we'll have a bit more progress on the layout before then. But as I mentioned in the video, if you would like to see a video on the Trans-Pennine 350 from Bachmann, a closer look, do let me know down below in the comments, or if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. As ever, big thank you to the channel patrons and members, and of course you at home for watching. It is greatly appreciated, and well, keeps me going anyway. Right, thank you as ever, take care, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye for now.